Welcome back, and we're now joined over the phone to discuss the celebration today with Professor Hossam Allam, a professor at Al-Azhar University. Good afternoon to you, sir. Yeah, it seems that we're still having a little bit. Let's take a look at another news item where the President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi, congratulated the Islamic nation on the occasion of Prophet Muhammad's birth anniversary. In a tweet on the President's social media account, President al-Sisi wrote that the occasion represents a great example of infinity, human liability, and ideal for honesty, commitment, and sacrifice. The President hoped all people to be inspired by strong will and patience on this day. Al-Sisi also wished that peace, security, and stability spread all over the country. And we're trying again with Professor Hossam Allam, a professor at Al-Azhar University. Good afternoon to you, sir.
Good afternoon to you too, and to all our dear respected viewers across the globe.
Thank you for joining us. And can you tell us a bit about the celebration of the Prophet's birth? I mean, what's the significance of this for Muslims? And what kind of message, especially today, that we should be sending to the rest of the Islamic world?
Definitely, it is a very momentous occasion, and it is high time to approach this incident in a more responsible and in a more constructive way. And I think this is what the event today signified. There were very clear messages as to the importance of respecting faith traditions and respecting faith-based symbols. And this is very important in today as well.
Yes.
To ensure peaceful coexistence and to ensure building bridges of understanding that are based on mutual respect. And this is very important in today's world because it is true, and we need to be frank that the way how the West, of course, I'm not generalizing here, not all of the West, but the dominant view as to what is religious and what is sacred is different from the view from the Islamic majority countries, for instance. So this is a very important point, and this is why I do think that there needs to be dialogue, there needs to be bridges that address all of these issues, so
Yes.
that we cannot leave any room for any extremist discourse in order to stake flames of division and mistrust between the peoples of the world.
What kind of lessons, I mean, like on a more central platform rather than the international platform, what kind of lessons can children learn from the Prophet's life? I mean, today obviously it's a celebration of his birth, so people want to know more about what the Prophet's life was like.
Definitely, yes. And of course, commemorating the birth of Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him,
Yes.
it is a manifestation and a recognition for his noble character, for his very important and significant teachings for all human beings. And this is why it is very important to pause in order to reflect and think beyond what we normally think about when it comes to reading the life or the seerah of the Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him. We need to pause in order to be able to derive lessons and morals that enable us and empower us to address the challenges that humanity nowadays are facing when it comes to pluralism, when it comes to acceptance, when it comes to solidarity. These are all very important ideals that we need to internalize, and we definitely find in the life of the Prophet Muhammad and all prophets and messengers very clear reference to this. For example, when it comes to respecting the faith of all human beings. This is what the Prophet, peace be upon him, clearly was keen to always teach and to be himself a role model in this regard. We see this in the Wasiqa of Al-Madinah, or the Constitution of Al-Madinah. How is it he managed to bring together all the people of Medina, irrespective of their religious affiliation or their belief or their background, but still all of them united and constituted one nation with mutual respect and values of coexistence, and they all clearly had the same rights, and they shouldered the same responsibility. Definitely as well, when it comes to the rejection of violence to any acts that only remain within the limits of remarks or statements. It's not the attitude of the Prophet to act in violence or to act violently. Rather, the practice and the guidance of the Prophet is to build bridges of dialogue, of understanding, to seek to better inform everyone. This is how we can address the root causes of what I can describe as the current conflict. Because definitely we have a conflict in the very basic meaning of conflict as to viewing many global concerns. So this is a very important point to try to better explain the views, the standpoint, and to look for a common ground and to build on this common ground, but just violent acts and emotional reactions. This is not what the Prophet, peace upon him, would be doing, for example, in response to any acts or any statements that aim to encroach upon the image of Islam and Muslims and the Prophet. And in the meantime, as Muslims, as academics, as people who are responsible for the Islamic discourse and clarifying the teachings of Islam, we don't accept any act that encroach upon the sentiments of Muslims. And this is a value that all human beings understand. This is a value that all human beings make sense of.
But unfortunately, sir, we're running out of time. So thank you so much for giving us some insight on the Prophet's birth celebration and a bit about his life as well. That was Professor Hossam Allam, a professor at Al-Azhar University. Thank you so much for joining us on the air.